Well, good evening from Phuket here in Thailand. It is Monday, May 20th, 2024, and delighted you've been able to tune in with me tonight for a little bit of a live stream where we can go through today's stories that were in the earlier show that was today, if you caught that. Normally uploaded at 7 a.m. in the morning, so hopefully you had time to look at that and we can go through the stories that have been going around. If anybody's out there living in Thailand, let me know what part of Thailand you're currently in or what part of the world you're currently in. Be great to know. Also, whether or not you know we're currently now in the low season and the rain has been quite brutal today in Phuket, so very, very windy, very, very wet. And then on top of that, the craziness of the traffic here in the main Tepkasatri road. They've decided to move cables, so it's absolutely nuts, the traffic. Apparently, if you're coming from anywhere around the middle of Phuket trying to get to the airport, it was taken between 2 to 3 hours because of the craziness of the traffic. But anyhow, that is currently the state of affairs here in Phuket. Now, the first story we're going to talk about, and we have a little bit of a follow-up as well. This story here was in relation to Charlie Faulkner, an English gentleman who was stabbed currently in Phuket a couple of nights ago while he was on Bangla Road and Patong. Now, interesting enough, the Phuket News didn't seem to have very much in this story, and in fact, they seem to have very little detail apart from a very strange police report. But luckily, Kausat English had quite the breakdown of this whole episode. So what seemed to have happened is Mr. Faulkner was out with his girlfriend on Bangla Road enjoying himself, and he wasn't up to anything in particular, and he noticed in the corner of one of the soys 5 or 6 Thai gentlemen in a fight with a foreigner, and he tried to intervene to stop the fight. He didn't go in with fisticuffs or anything like that. He just tried to calm it down, and while it was happening, he got stabbed, and that's basically what happened. The guys that stabbed them have been already caught. They've been arrested. They've been paraded out on TV. Of course, the face is all blurred. The usual thing here now in Thailand. And so they've caught him. And fair to, we criticize the police a lot here in Thailand because of various aspects of how they do things. But when it comes to catching criminals, right, after something has happened, I will say that they are very, very good at doing it, and they seem to continuously catch people very quickly. Now, I'd say it has a lot to do with the amount of CCTV footage that you see here in Thailand, and it's if you are a criminal, I mean, it's one thing you need to be quite aware of is the amount of cameras here in Thailand, and particularly Phuket, and they're using these AI cameras now as well, so they have a very good chance of catching you. But, in relation to Charlie Faulkner, I mean, I don't think I'd have the balls to step in and try to stop a fight like that. And I don't know how many other people would. And obviously you see what happens when you do step in, and he ended up getting stabbed. But luckily, and he went to the right place. He went straight into a 7-Eleven. They were able to get him first aid very quickly. And, I think that is one of the reasons he survived. He seems to be okay now, and hopefully the guys that did this will be prosecuted by the police and do some time in jail. Now, another story that has got zero play in any of the Phuket news is a fairly gruesome murder in Panya province, particularly up there in Kluk Kloi. So what seems to have happened is a Pakistani man with his Thai wife, friends with an Indian gentleman. They got into a fight about something or other. They ended up shooting him because you always have a gun in your car when you're out and about, and then disposed of his body and the rest of his items. And they've been caught. They seem to have enough evidence to be able to prosecute these two, so they're going to be going away to jail for a while. But it got me thinking, the last couple of months, the amount of crime that's been perpetrated by foreigners here in Thailand. And I'm not just talking petty crime, but I'm talking about murders and serious criminal activity seems to be on the increase here in the country. And I'm not quite sure what Thailand can do to stop this, or I mean, when the borders are as open as they are and they seem to want a lot of people to come in for tourism, it does certainly leave the doors open for a lot of criminals. And there's very few checks on people coming into the country anymore. That's what I've kind of figured out and found myself. It's not like if you're going to America or Australia, you know, on a visa free into the country, they quiz you before they go in, you know, to make sure that you're a legitimate tourist. You know, how much money do you have, where are you staying, how long are you staying for, and things like this. And they try to figure out if you're really a tourist, are you here for some other means. And it's something I think maybe the immigration here in Thailand might need to start to employ when tourists are coming in, especially, you know, when you have maybe a single guy coming in or something like that and looking at him, where are you going to, what are you up to, and start asking a little more probing questions. Do you have enough money on you? You know, and these kind of questions will sniff out very quickly if they're legitimate tourists or not. Well, in this case, this man was married that stabbed or shot this Indian gentleman, and it's a terribly gruesome crime, you know, but they seem to definitely have enough evidence to be able to go ahead with the prosecution against them. It's just a ghastly crime. It's just disgusting, really. Another story that came up today was tourists again, guys. They're everywhere. Is a Chinese gentleman in a hotel in Saturn in Bangkok. And he went on a crazed, drunken rampage around his room. Smashing a marble table, windows. As you can see, he went outside into the hall and started to burn this. This is kind of like the bell on the front of the room and whatnot. And yeah, just went completely crazy. Now, to me, it doesn't seem like it would be just, you know, alcohol that would be involved in this. It seems to me, obviously, there must be something else involved, because there's no real excuse other than maybe drugs or something that has been taken, consumed maybe with alcohol. But this is absolutely, I think he owes, I think his current bill for the hotel at the moment is upwards around 150,000 baht, and rightly so. And, you know, I hope a swift payment, and if non-payment, jail time for this guy. I just don't understand. People come to Thailand, come and enjoy yourself, you know, accept the wonderful hospitality of the Thai people here. You know, be gracious when you're here, behave yourself when you're here. I find too many tourists are so, and this is something a little off topic, but one of the things I've noticed a lot over the last period of time is that you find that tourists here now are bringing their mentality from Europe, or, you know, their Western mentality to Thailand, and behaving exactly the same way that they behave when they get here, or when they're at home. So when they turn up here, they turn up at hotels, they're shouting at customers, they're screaming, shouting, behaving poorly, behaving badly, and it's just shouldn't be happening, you know. I don't think anybody ever deserves to be shouted at by a customer or a foreigner because, you know, their room wasn't cleaned properly or something like that, you know. And this short fuse that they seem to be all on now is quite concerning, and seems to be a very big shift in the mentality of people coming from Western countries these days. But I mean, I don't know what you guys think about that, but it's certainly my experience here in Thailand. Now, our good Prime Minister here in the country, Mr. Saretta Thavisin, who has been Prime Minister for about, when did he get in? September, is it? So not even a year yet, 8-9 months. A group of 40 anonymous, by the way, anonymous senators have basically are trying to impeach him as such. And this is what they've been trying to do. They're anonymous. They refuse to give their names because they don't have to, which I think is just a real cop-out and kind of a chicken thing to be doing, you know. Well, we want to try get you impeached, so, but we're not going to give our names and who we are and, you know, why. Possibly this is being sent to the Constitutional Court. So if the Constitutional Court accept it, okay, he could be suspended from duty until there's the case is resolved. The case resolves around a gentleman that he has put up in the Prime Minister's ministerial, Prime Minister office minister as such. I didn't know there's such a thing, but there is. And the guy that he has is a guy from 2000. He was I think the lawyer of Thaksin Shinawatra back in the day, 2007, 2008. He was convicted in 2008 of trying to bribe somebody in the judicial system, not a judge, but maybe the handlers of the judge. And he turned up with 2 million baht in a brown envelope, basically, and that's what he did. And obviously he was caught doing it, and he was sentenced 6 months in jail. And what these senators are trying to say is that this guy's not fit for office because he went to jail. And then they're saying that also from the ethics minister, from the ethics committee as well, he wouldn't be of a good standing nature to be allowed to be a minister, which I think is a bit rich considering they have a guy in what's his name, the transport minister who spent time in an Australian prison for smuggling cocaine, that guy. So he's okay, but this guy did 6 months for bribery is not okay. But however, what the Prime Minister is saying, it basically is if you're convicted here in Thailand, you're excluded and you're banned for politics from 10 years. So he went to jail in 2008. That means after 2018, he'd be allowed to be a minister again. And then this idea that they're talking about ethics and standards and whatnot, moral standards as well. I mean, people can change in 10 years, and actually it's longer than that. It's nearly 15, 16 years. So I think that kind of is a little overreaching in my opinion. Hopefully the court throw it out and just say, listen, this is all nonsense, because apparently the Prime Minister, he did get advice from the Council of State, which is a legal body here. So, I mean, he has the backing of them saying that you are allowed to place this guy in the government and as a minister. So, I mean, he seems to have covered his bases. He seems like a smart guy to me as well. And then some people like him, some don't. I think he could spend a bit more. He seems like he's more a salesman than anything else to me. He's spending a lot of time outside the country promoting Thailand, but I do think he needs to spend a little more time in country and dealing with the real issues that are here: education, poverty, minimum wage and things like this. A lot of talk about increasing it, only increased it for the hospitality industry in 4- and 5-star hotels in certain provinces, and that's basically all he's done since they've been in. They've promised, I think, nearly 600 baht per day by the end of their tenure in government, which would be 2020. When did it come in? 23, so 2027. So they have a little bit of time, but they need to be hurrying up as well with that. But nevertheless, I don't dislike him either. I think he's got a difficult job with taxing in the wings and looking over his shoulder, and I think it's not an easy job to be doing, but that's just my opinion on that. But hopefully things do work out. I think Thailand are certainly on a better trajectory than they were under the junta styled government as such. But yeah, I do think they've improved, and I think the government will certainly do better. As of course they'll also be having the Move Forward Party possibly dissolve soon, which may help them as well, or may not help them actually. I think that could propel the current opposition party into government at the next election. But yeah, I mean, I think the news today has been quite quiet overall. I've been trying to put together some stories for tomorrow's show, and I have to be honest, it is very, very, very slim pickings today. I mean, some of the news sites that I normally like to read first and go through, no stories today. So Monday is a quiet day. So is no news good news day? I think so. But that is it from me, folks. Just wanted to pop on, have a quick discussion with you guys out there. Delighted as always that you've been able to tune in for the time, as this live stream now will be put up as a video, so you can watch it later if you haven't had time to tune in. Hopefully we will see you again tomorrow night. We'll hopefully have some content to put out there. But anyway, thanks again for tuning in. We'll talk again. Stay safe out there, and